Live look right down the Chicago River there. For many, summer in Chicago means it's time to hit the beach or head out on the lake.
Yeah, but in recent weeks, there have been several boating accidents and drownings that have made headlines. Commodore Nick Berberian with the Chicago Yacht Club is joining us now to talk a little bit more about boating safety, what can be done to hopefully avoid more accidents. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, beautiful backdrop there behind you. I do want to talk about some of these accidents that we've been reporting on, many of them happening at the Chicago Playpen, as it's known. As you look at the string of accidents that we've had in August, what do you make of them? What needs to change?
There are a lot of things that need to be focused on. We start off looking at the statistics to see what they tell us, and there were, according to the Coast Guard, 658 fatal boating accidents last year, and the leading cause of deaths was alcohol. That was involved in 16% of the accidents. The other three leading causes were operator inattention, inexperience, and improper lookout. But what's most important, in our view, is that of those people involved that were involved in fatal accidents that were operating the boat, 75% of them had no boater education. So in our view, boater education is the key. It is imperative to be able to preserve the safety of all those on the boat and all those in the water. We are so blessed here in Chicago to have this beautiful, beautiful lakefront, but it's a lake that needs to be respected, and it's a lake that once we adopt proper techniques, we are able to safely enjoy, and that's what needs to be done.
All you need to do is take a look at the Chicago River on a beautiful Friday, Saturday night. You can see how much more traffic is out on the river or even on the lakefront. And a lot of times, those are folks who have no experience at all. What would your advice be to somebody who's thinking about, oh, renting a boat, I did this once in Florida, I can definitely do it on Lake Michigan?
The first advice, there are two separate issues. One is really drowning, and that is the best deterrent of drowning is to wear a life jacket. The statistics again tell us that 81% of those that were involved in fatal boating accidents died as a result of drowning, and only 17% of them had a life jacket. The issue on that is the life jackets right now are made to be very comfortable. They're inflatable life jackets. They're designed to go off automatically. They're very comfortable to wear, especially on a hot summer day. What most boaters don't realize, though, is that there is a significant failure rate in the automatic inflator device with respect to those devices. There is a manual pull, and there's also a way to manually inflate. But understanding how that equipment works is critical. The Coast Guard itself teaches its own recruits. The way to deploy those is to pull the cord. If the automatic feature works, that's fine, but you always have the cord to pull. So again, there's a simple piece of equipment readily available in most stores, but it's important to be able, and very comfortable wear, but it's important to wear properly, maintain properly, and most importantly, at the time you have to utilize it properly.
Nick, just real quick to come off of Ben's question, you know, we talk about people being inexperienced out in the water. One of the interesting things that I found is that anybody can really drive a boat. They don't have to have any sort of license, no certificate. Is there any push to change that in Chicago? I think we've got about 20 seconds.
Yes, some of our surrounding states have such a requirement. There is no movement afoot here, but there is so many sources where boating education can be achieved, whether it's yacht clubs, the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, the Power Squadron. If you just Google boating safety, there are ample places to learn and get information about safe operation of a boat, and that is critical before you put yourself behind the wheel and potentially cause a tragedy. Was unfortunately resulted in the Playpen not too long ago.
So people have to take on that personal responsibility to learn a little bit more about boating safety. Thank you so much, Commodore Nick Berberian. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.